Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Had a technical issue, so had to rescope real quick. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Bless you guys. Hope you all are doing excellent. Having a great day and a great morning. All right. Hey, good morning. So, if you're joining the scope, my name is DavidSWinston, and I like to encourage people to be successful in life. I teach people, I teach youth. I'm a youth pastor. We had a great youth service last night. Thanks for asking, Devin. And I like to encourage people to be successful in life and do whatever it is that God has put them on this earth and on this planet to do. One of the things that I think I've realized is that sometimes we need help and encouragement to grow. We need help and encouragement to understand what is it that we need to do to get from point A to point B. And in the midst of going from point A to point B, a lot of times the journey changes us. It changes who we are, how we behave, how we grow, how we respond. Hey, Dr. Bailey, how you doing? And it changes things about us. And so we have to understand that we have to be committed to the process. God is committed to helping us grow in every area of our lives. And so I'm going to start in and I'm going to talk about maturity and growth. So if you can, share this with somebody, Facebook, Twitter, share with your followers right now, because we're going to take about 10 minutes and I'm going to encourage you on how to grow. Now, a lot of you all saw, I'm sure, or heard about the Steve Harvey debacle and the Miss Universe, and so you heard about what happened. If you didn't hear about it or didn't see it, didn't watch it, you can go Google it real quick, or you can even go after the scope. You can go to YouTube and just search it. And I was watching the video today; it had 21 million hits, and so a lot of people saw it. But if you didn't see it, I'll tell you what happened. So they had the Miss Universe pageant, as they always do for many years, and Steve Harvey was the host. And I think this might have been his second time hosting. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody could verify. However, he was hosting, and so it came down to the last two contestants, Miss Philippines and Miss Colombia. And so he was announcing who was going to be the winner. And so he announced Miss Colombia as the winner. And he was wrong, though. I don't know. This might be the first time this has ever happened in Miss Universe history. He was wrong, though. And after about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of, all the praise and all the celebration for Miss Colombia, then he comes back on stage and he says, hey, you got to forgive me. I made a mistake. I made an error. My bad. I was wrong. And he announced Miss Philippines as the winner, and Miss Colombia was the runner-up. And it was weird. Like, people didn't really know what to do. And, in that moment, I saw all the memes already popping up all over the internet. You had one job. But, I didn't blame him because as you just said, we are human. And I understand, hey, we're human. We make mistakes. All of us have made mistakes. I mean, none of us are perfect. But what I really liked that he did is when he came onto the stage, he said, this was my mistake. This was my error. I did this. You can see the card. He actually flipped over the card. He said, look, you can see it on the card. They wrote it. It was good. This is the way it should have been. Everything was correct. It was my error, my bad. The ladies didn't have anything to do with it. He said it was all me. Everybody else was just fine. And I thought that was such a great lesson, because I know in our culture so many times it's so easy to crucify, and it's so easy to cast stones, it's so easy to talk about, and so easy to criticize everybody who makes a wrong mistake or an error. But I thought what Steve Harvey did was a great lesson on maturity. That maturity doesn't mean that you've never made a mistake or you'll never make mistakes. What maturity means is that maturity is seen by the way you respond to mistakes. I want you to get that. Maturity is seen by the way you respond to mistakes. And Steve Harvey, he was apparent about it being his fault. And how many times have we seen politicians? Have we seen people in power? Have we seen sports figures? Have we seen influential leaders lie, straight up lie about their responsibility or their part that they played in a situation in which they did wrong. I mean, straight up lie, straight up deny. I mean, think about how many ways Steve Harvey could have acted. He could have came on and said, hey, well, they gave me the wrong card, or this is the wrong thing, or somebody backstage just told me the wrong thing and it got me confused. I mean, how many times do we see that in our culture? I mean, hit me with some comments or some hearts if you agree. I mean, how many times do we see that people, they won't take responsibility? They'll be busy blaming it on other people, sticking that finger at other people and saying, you did this, you did that. But what Steve Harvey did took a lot of guts and a lot of integrity, and then he went on social media and apologized a couple times again, and apologized to Miss Colombia and Miss Philippines, and just continued to completely take responsibility on his own. And I think that we could take a lesson from that, because in this culture where we see a lot of people who lie, who might cheat, who might point a finger and blame, even ministers. Hey, I think even ministers have some hard times sometimes doing this. Well, this is the reason my church isn't growing, or this is the reason why this happened to my people, or this is the reason why this happened to my ministry, or this happened in my church. And you know, sometimes we spend so much time blaming that we stop investing time in our own growth. And I believe that what we can do to grow in 2016 is we can choose to be mature and take responsibility. It's not about being perfect. And that's what I've learned about this life is, you know, going through and even going in full-time ministry. I like that, execute or excuse. Going through full-time ministry, I've learned that it's not about being perfect. It's about being faithful and being a man of integrity. And when you're a man of integrity, everybody can respect you. Even when you do wrong, they'll still respect you. Maturity equals growth. Never forget it. Maturity equals growth. And like, I'll give you an example. Have you ever seen a plant that's just a little bud, and it was a seed, but now it's just a little bud, but it's bearing fruit already? Have you ever seen a little bud bear fruit? I haven't. Maybe you have, but I haven't. And I believe that that's for a reason, because you can't produce fruit until you get to a certain point of maturity. I mean, even plants in nature show that a plant has to grow to a certain point of growth and maturity in order to bear good fruit. And I believe that in 2015, if you had problems bearing fruit, check your maturity, check your growth, check where you were. Were you busy blaming other people, or were you taking responsibility for yourself? Were you taking responsibility for your own actions? If you were wasting time, were you taking responsibility? If you didn't complete an assignment, did you take responsibility? If you missed the opportunity, don't blame mom, don't blame your friends, don't blame folks on social media. Hey, it's us. I got to take responsibility. I got to grow. If I'm a tree and I'm planted, I can't say, well, it's y'all fault over here, y'all plants and y'all trees. It's y'all fault that I'm not growing. No, it's the tree. It's the tree that has to grow and is responsible for growing itself. And so here's my word for you for 2016. Stop being petty. All right? Don't be petty. What does petty mean? Petty means you're concerned about all the other little things and all these other little details and stuff about other people. Stop being petty. Who cares? Who cares about all these other little things? My wife always reminds me, and she says to me, David, does this have any eternal value? And I'll say, no, it doesn't. And then she'll say, don't worry about it. Stuff that has no eternal value, that's helping nobody, that's not going to matter tomorrow, that's wasting my time, wasting your time. None of that matters. You know, I was reading an article, and it was talking about social media, and on social media they were talking about Bishop Jakes, and Bishop Jakes apparently on Instagram had posted a picture of him in some ripped jeans, and I think he was ministering that Sunday, and I think he ministered at his daughter and son-in-law's church in California. And so they were posting, and I guess people really had a problem with it. People weren't agreeing, and they're like, oh, you know, this is, how could you desecrate the pulpit like this? Like, how could you wear ripped jeans? It's not respectful to the people or to God. You know, it's dishonoring the pulpit. And you know, people were kind of going back and forth, and you know, he posted a couple comments and responded to a couple of them and said, obviously he always wants to be biblically based in everything he does. But let me tell you something. That's what I'm talking about. Petty stuff that doesn't matter. Stuff that doesn't matter. I mean, him wearing ripped jeans in somebody's pulpit. Hey, maybe you might not agree. I'm not against an agreement or a not agreement. Here's what matters to me. Why do I care so much? And what I want you to do in 2016 is stop caring about everything that doesn't matter or doesn't concern you. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't concern me. If Bishop Jakes wants to wear ripped jeans in his pulpit, hey, that's up to him. You know why? Because it doesn't concern me. So I don't need to spend 20 minutes of my time commenting, recommenting, reposting, and then going back and forth on Facebook about stuff that doesn't matter. You know why? Because I got 20 minutes of growth and production that I need to capture in today. So I don't need to waste 20 minutes on something that doesn't matter, that's just petty. So in 2016, I'm encouraging you, grow up, mature. That's what we got to do. We got to take responsibility. We got to find something to put our energy towards. Discipleship is a process. You know, the Bible talks about discipleship, and it's a process of growth, week after week, day after day, hour after hour. And I'm telling you, just like a plant doesn't produce, a tree doesn't produce fruit unless it grows. We can't produce fruit in our lives unless we choose to grow. So just like Steve Harvey did, he chose to speak out of a place of maturity instead of immaturity. So my question to you is, where are you at? Where's your gauge? Are you growing? Are you maturing? Are you deciding to get in the process of maturity? Maturity is also gracious enough to accept and understand when others make mistakes that affect them. So maturity isn't just about accepting responsibility, but when other people make mistakes. Oh yeah, I can forgive you. Hey, I understand Steve Harvey made a mistake, and we can criticize. We can say, well, this, that, you had one job. How could you do that? I would never do that. Yes, you might. You might. How do I know? Because you've never been in that position. So you might. But if you've never been in his position, you've never been in his shoes, you've never had to MC something, you've never had to take direction from many multiples of people, you've never been on live TV, live telecast, live broadcast, live stream, live webcast, you don't know what that realm looks like. So you have no idea what he may have had to go through. You have no idea what the distractions were. There might be some family issues that he was having, that his mind might have been distracted in those couple hours. If you're a family person with kids, you know how much something in your family, in your household, can mess with you all of a sudden and can all of a sudden shift your focus mentally. And so what I'm saying to you is, maturity is gracious enough to be able to accept others' mistakes and forgive them of the mistakes that they've done against you. That's what maturity is. It's saying, hey, it's okay. I'm not going to be petty. That's the word for the day. Maturity. Don't be petty. Growth. It helps you get out of pettiness. And it helps you mature into somebody who can be well respected, who walks in integrity, who takes responsibility, who's gracious enough to forgive other people of their mistakes. And so I believe that you're a person who wants growth. I believe that you're a person who's going to mature. And so I believe that maturity and growth, it makes you better. And as you grow and as you mature, you'll be able to find fruit in your life. You'll find increase in your life. And I believe that great things will happen for you. Maybe he just wanted his niece to breathe. Y'all are funny. And so yeah, integrity. It's time to man up. It's time to grow up. And I believe that the best is yet to come for you. So thank you so much for joining me on The Scope. I appreciate all the hearts and all the love, and I see all those comments. Thank you so much. And if you're not following me already, my name is DavidSWinston, and I like to become the best youth scopes, helping you to become successful and grow in every area of your life. And so if you're not following already, please make sure that you follow so you don't miss any of the scopes when I do them and when we go in. So thank you so much. And my last request is I ask you to share this with somebody else to help them grow in 2016. And so we believe that the best is yet to come. Where's Nikki? My wife, Nikki, she is on her way to work right now, and that's where I am going. So thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Thank you, Riley 004. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all the love and all the support. Let's keep it going. And thank you. Thank you so much. Everything you posted has been a blessing. Thank you. I'm glad that it's blessing you. I really enjoy what I do, and it brings meaning to me because you all are blessed by it. And so have a great day. I'm glad you're new to The Scope. Preacher 719. Thank you for coming to The Scope. Please follow so you don't miss any of the other scopes. And have a great day. Remember that growth and maturity makes you better. Maturity doesn't mean that you'll never make a mistake. Maturity is seen by the way you respond to mistakes. So respond to mistakes